Because are you doing vlogs now as well?
Yeah, well,
Charlie's an OG vlogger.
You're the OG
I've
vlogger.
been vlogging before Eddie.
Yeah, way before.
Before Jack,
But
or
just-
before Eddie?
Nah, only recently.
Because like,
I only started doing it last season kind of half-assed, and then this season properly. But, well, not properly, like it's still low quality.
did you reckon there's like a stigma to vlogging?
Yeah,
Like there's definitely like, if
100%.
you're a vlogger, like you're a bit of a loser.
yeah.
And then it became like, everyone started doing it, so then it was like,
Yeah.
now it's just the norm.
I was like keen to do it, but there definitely was a stigma. But I was keen to do it, and it was easy to start because I was injured, so it was like a good excuse.
But you kind of just do the dad cam thing now.
Yeah.
That's like, you don't really camera to face.
No, I definitely don't camera to face.
Hey guys, it's
That's-
Eddie.
But that's not really.
No, you did
that's not really
it in
vlogging,
Whistler. I
man.
watched
What?
it. I watched a day in the life.
Yeah, I know, and it was so hard to do.
Yeah, but once you get, like Bernie said, honestly, once you get over yourself, like it's just. sucking
I
out
just
your
don't
pride.
like the camera in the face.
Do you find it weird though? Like, if someone saw me filming myself, I would feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then you're putting that footage online.
Yeah.
And then it's okay.
That is random. That's really random when you think about it.
It's like when
Are
you
we,
see-
are we rolling?
Yeah, we're going.
Oh,
now.
sweet.
Doesn't look clear.
It's a great start. I was wondering if we were rolling.
Yeah, but I don't like. You know when it's like a go kind of thing. I feel like it makes people feel like.
No, it's good just to
cool.
ease into it.
Yeah.
But it's so weird. Like I would also feel awkward if I was walking around like this and then some people were over there looking at me.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh.
But instead you got 1,000 people looking at you,
Yeah.
but they're not there.
Well, 1,000's a good day, mate.
There's even people take photo of like food at like a restaurant, and you see them trying to get like the perfect shot of the food, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
what is this guy doing? But then if they post that on Instagram, you see it and you're like, oh, that looks really nice, and like it. But there's
Fotogram.
like a
It's
dis-
so random.
But then if you see someone doing it, you see people film their food. Or like filming a boyfriend film their girlfriend. It's like
Yeah.
the whole Inception thing, and they're like making fun of it. But the same person to make fun of it will probably also like the photo of the
Yeah.
guy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that guy's got his phone out as well. He's not living in the moment because he's filming the person who's on their phone.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, everyone's like, oh, look at these people on their phone. They like film it,
Yeah.
but they're on their phone.
on the phone as well.
The
How deep
internet
does
is
that
a
go?
weird place.
It is a weird, scary place.
Yeah.
And we're going to be more a part of it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here with Chaz Mars on, I don't know, what is this? This is like the most casual towed-in episode we've probably done. We've normally at races, but we've managed to find it. Well, it is a race, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we've just upped the production value and the set location. Thanks for hiring the set for me, Eddie. Really
No
appreciate
worries.
it.
No worries. Anytime.
But we're here at the last enduro of the season, and Eddie, you're out with an injury. You've broken yourself, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it's been one of those seasons, but they happen.
But Chaz Mars, you're not broken. You're still
Nah.
still fighting hard.
Still
Chaz
fighting.
is making a
I
charge.
was gonna
Top
say-
5 in the overall.
Yeah, sitting fifth by about 5 points. So we're
Can
going
you-
to hold on to that and hopefully go up.
I was going to say, is it hard to jump or is it a big jump?
Is
or-
it easy to fall? Hard to jump?
Oh.
How far can you jump?
This is
You
all the
know,
stuff I
like-
don't try and think about. I'm just
we're going to break it down now.
I just want to think about the race and that's it. But no, we'll go into the details because I have looked at it.
Yeah.
You'd be crazy if you haven't. So Richie's in first, and then Rideau, and then Jesse, and then Reese, and then me. And Yun is like 5 points behind me. So
Yeah,
it'd be easy
and
for
sixth.
Yun to jump me if he has a good race. Or 5 a bad
7th,
race.
8th. Wax is in 9th.
Yeah,
And he's won a race.
Moyes in 10th.
Yeah.
If Moy wins and I don't finish, he can beat me too.
Yeah.
So he can go up from 10th to 5th. I
He
guess.
knows these tracks here. He
Um,
knows the Morzine, super Morzine track.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be one for headache.
He's spent a lot of time up here.
Yeah, he's in those
And
mountains.
those
are really,
long legs, they're so good for slippery routes.
Yeah, well, he sold his soul for anti-slip back in 2017. It's been paying off ever since.
It's anti-slip.
He just doesn't slip on routes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you
No,
can
he doesn't.
count
Because he went to
balance.
Morzine for 3 years in a row and it just rained every
It's just
single day.
routes.
Yeah.
But it paid off for Be My Coulage as well.
Yeah, he sold his soul as well. There's been a few of them. I just don't want to sell my soul for it, so I just slip on routes. It's just how it is. I don't want to live in Scotland or Morzine in the rain
I know.
any longer. But so you're close. You're close to. You can jump forward as well if you have a good race. Just say you win. Could you
Yeah,
jump
so-
to third?
Yeah, so I can catch everyone apart from Richie.
Yeah,
So if everyone else crashes, doesn't finish, and I win, I
Yeah.
can get to second.
true.
But obviously that's, near impossible, but, nothing's out of the question.
True.
But I think if I have a decent one and the guy in front of me doesn't, I could jump him.
Mm.
But it'd be hard to jump more than one place,
Yeah.
even if you have a mint race. Unless, but anything can happen. Like, a few
Yeah,
people could crash out and then suddenly you're in the money.
It's not over till it's over, hey.
Yeah. But it's kind of good. There's, no pressure. Like, I've already been happy with my season, so I'm like, I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just still like, want to do my best in this race. And, you know, it's either like, go hard.
Has anything changed this year, the previous years? Is it like in like terms of like coming
Like prep and stuff.
Well, everything. Or was it kind of you've just kind of done the same thing and it's just like paid off, or did you find like you changed something this year?
Just taking it a bit more seriously, I think. Yeah.
In what way?
Well, yeah, I don't really drink casual beers anymore.
I'm on holiday.
I just So.
Oh no!
Oh
No!
Oh!
Not again! Oh, I hate that. Why
That's
does this
so bad for
always
your
happen,
hearing.
Eddie? Why do we hang out with people that do
Yeah.
this?
Oh, I hate
It's
it.
immature. Who sold these?
Pardon? These are from
I
Ludenville.
know the guy who was selling them.
It was Steph.
not
To
a
be
fan.
honest though, this probably adds a bit of atmosphere now.
It does,
We've
it
got a
does.
bit of smoke
Yeah.
and it's like...
It's quite mystic.
We're
Yeah.
gonna smoke this fire.
But yeah, just figuring things out, Like, especially why I haven't been doing it that long, and most of the stuff I've learned is from Eddie and the Pivot Crew. When I first
Which
started.
isn't not necessarily the right way.
No, but it's a way.
But it is a way.
It's a way.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it.
It's like I learned heaps from these guys, and that helped me get to like professional level.
Yeah.
And then over the last few years, I've just been like doing trial and error and trying different things and doing more like training and have a coach this year, which has been really helpful.
That's a big one that I think a lot of athletes, like, they think they can do it themselves because they've got to here
Yeah.
by themselves. And like, well, I got to here, I can get to there and just like work harder, but you're not as accountable
Yeah.
without someone like looking at your flaws or looking at where you need to improve.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like, I don't think it necessarily makes me fitter. Like, I don't think I'm fitter than I've ever been because I have a coach. I'm probably the same amount of fitness, but just like almost having that confidence and like someone who's backing you. And like also the mental side of it, like someone you can ring up and say, oh, today was so tough, like really bad, like I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And they're like, oh no, you'll be all good. Just like, you know, you've got the skills, just believe in yourself. Just someone to say that one thing can make a huge difference.
It's almost like a therapist
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah. It's just someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And someone who's also got some investment in you and
And it's consistent.
yeah.
Like, you get to follow a routine. Yeah, like having that person to talk to,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Well, how many times if you're like, you know, you had to go up and go for like a road ride in the morning, it's like pissing rain or it sucks, and you could just be like, I'm just going to stay in bed.
Yeah.
But then if you got your coach, he's like, did you go for a road ride this morning? And you know he's going to ask you. You're kind of like, I better get on that road ride. Like, it's just that little bit of extra, like...
I think it depends on your
accountability.
character too. Like, I've never had a problem with motivation for training.
True.
So it's not so much from that point of view. Like, something was really helpful to have that. But my coach won't even like check in. He'll just like look at the numbers at the end of that week and then plan the next week.
Yeah.
And because I never like really
It's
miss
all
a
like,
session anyway.
like road numbers, heart rate, all of that.
Yeah, like just mostly like watts, heart rate, and then we sometimes do like time trial things. Like, we had a sick one in Chamonix, which has been like the coolest session I've done since working with the coach, really hard. But we did like a 5-minute effort. So we did like a 5-hour ride. And at the start of the ride, you do this one hill, and you have a start line. There's like a line on the road, and you just go 5 minutes as hard as you can from that line, and see where you get to. And then you do a 5-hour ride, come back and do the same hill at the end of your ride, and see if you can get the same or further than what you did. And I did that every week for like a month. And by the end of the month, I was going like probably like 200 meters, 200 or 300 meters further up the road.
Really?
Like around the next corner, like really far. And
It's quite a lot too.
yeah.
Like,
And especially after the ride, after 5 hours, so every single session from when I started, I got better, and like including like after the ride. So I'd do it at the start, and I'd probably every time it usually hurt more the second time, but I could get like often 5 or 10 meters further. Yeah, and then like if I rest for a week and come back and do it, then I'm like even more improved. So cool to see, just having that like visual progression.
Yeah, knowing,
Yeah.
yeah, seeing it.
do you ever find you get nervous for the effort you have
Yeah.
to put in?
Yeah,
I think that's one of the biggest things, is like whether it's going and doing a test session like that or a super physical stage.
Yeah.
I get really nervous and fidgety because it's like you're going into this dark place that you don't want to go.
no, yeah,
And I wish I could get comfortable.
I think it's just
I don't
time
think
and
you can.
practice.
I don't
I
think
think
you can. I don't think you can though, because like no matter how fit you are, that place will like you'll go further, but that place is
Yeah,
the
but I
same.
follow.
You're right. You're right. It doesn't get easier.
No.
You just go faster.
I
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
the
Like when you're hurting, like
But you follow like the road cycling.
Yeah.
You know, every day they're going to that place, and then more so on the time trials.
yeah,
But there's certain guys who are time trialists and certain guys who are just trying to get through the time trial. But like, do they ever get comfortable? Is it just another day in the saddle, or is every day that nervous feeling of?
I think you.
Or is it just like turning up to work?
I think your mind gets better at dealing with that place.
Because I
But I
remember,
think the place is still like it's not easy. It's just like you get better at like understanding that you're in that place.
because I used to be get super nervous like the night before a race, and I'd find it like hard to get to sleep at the normal time because your like brain would be running, and and then you start thinking, oh, like, you know, running over scenarios in your head and stuff like that. And like I don't do that at all anymore. Like, I can just go to sleep.
I still have the brain whirring thing, but I have that like on normal days too.
Yeah.
Some days I just like if I'm thinking about heaps of stuff, my brain is just active late anyway. But definitely,
I much more enjoy it now. Just like obviously in the moment, super nervous and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not 24 hours before.
Yeah.
Do you ever have you're saying like different circumstances? Do you ever go over a run in your brain and you'll crash in your mind on a stage or something like that? Have you ever had that before? Like you come into a section, like be a route you're thinking about, and you'll hit the route in your mind and you'll crash.
No,
You've
but
never done
I
that?
kind of what you mean, but not really.
You've never done that because you do ever have stages in your head, like lines and where you're gonna go.
No,
Like,
pretty much.
You don't
Like,
visualize it at all.
I just try and forget everything. I just write it once.
What do you mean?
No, seriously, like
And then you just try and.
I've tried both. I've tried remembering everything, and then I've tried like just forgetting everything, and it's still in there. Like you still know it,
subconsciously.
but you can't be. For me, I can't be thinking about it because then I'm just like waiting for everything to come.
Yeah.
If I'm not thinking about
Are
it,
you watching GoPro and stuff?
I'm pretty much never watched a GoPro.
You aren't.
No.
Yeah.
I film them all and put them up, and as long as I see bits of them, or if there's something that confused me, I might look at it.
Yeah.
But then but if I do look at it, I look at it straight after practice, and then I forget about it that night.
Yeah.
Like I don't look at it again the next day. Like, I look at it once and I'll just forget about it. Because like, it's just how I ride.
Because that would be the common strategy. Like a lot of people would just be up all
See,
night.
I prefer it when I can almost visualize the whole stage and I just tick it off in the thing. I feel the most prepared when I know.
Yeah, you know where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny
That's definitely a good one. Hey?
Yeah, but like, it's not like Charlie wouldn't know where he's going because you do remember it. But I like to like run through the stage in sections.
Yeah, it's like a mental prep.
No sections.
Yeah.
So I can tick it off.
Yeah, you do that road, you go do that section of woods, there's like a little tight corner here. But that's the thing, like if we sat down and talked about it, like which we used to a bit when I was on with your team, like we would sit down and we could talk about pretty much the whole stage and remember everything. And I still could do that, but I try not to go into that sort of thinking about every corner because then when I'm racing, I'm just overthinking.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to think. Like the best race stage that I ever have is when I just get to the top and then I just kind of like wake up and I'm at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like because you're so focused, you're just like looking at the rocks and the corners.
Yeah, you're reactive, not proactive.
Yeah.
Proactive. Sorry.
Yeah. Like you're not thinking ahead or
You're not
thinking
about
behind.
what you're thinking about.
Well, you're not thinking about what's for dinner. You're just literally not
what's
even thinking.
What's in front of me? Yeah.
You don't
Right
even-
in
you don't
front of me,
even
there's a
think.
rock. Go over that. You go over the,
And you almost like don't even realize you've done the stage. Or you don't even hear anything.
Yeah.
You just get to the bottom. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that's
time
always
travel.
You do time travel.
so. That's like
Actually,
it's a cool feeling.
It's a crazy feeling. It doesn't happen.
It doesn't always happen.
Yeah. reckon that's
It
funny?
doesn't happen very often. I don't reckon.
The feeling you chase is a feeling you don't even like remember.
Mm.
That's the weird part. It's like everyone's chasing to just shut off completely.
And you can go into it for a minute, and then you might hear your mechanic or a spectator whose voice you recognise, and it snaps you out of it, and you're like, I was in it. You've just ruined it for me.
Yeah.
When we were at MSA for Worlds in 19, I did like the top minute of the track and was in that thing. And then there's like all these corners and it kind of has a long straight at the top. And I just remember going on that straight and I was like, holy shit. And then because I went, holy shit, it just took me completely out of it.
Yeah.
And then the next bit I was like, oh, I'm thinking again.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the top was like...
Just autopilot.
Autopilot, yeah.
But I reckon autopilot's the best. Like when I'm, like you said,
Yeah,
reactive.
that's the flow state.
Yeah.
That's essentially is the definition of it.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own ways of putting it into words,
Yeah.
but it's teleportation from the start line to the finish.
yeah,
That's a
exactly.
good way. I like autopilot, teleportation.
Yeah.
What else can you do? Magic carpet of some sort.
Yeah, it is. You just jump on and then all of a sudden you arrive at the finish line.
That's cool. I think, like, it's not like, you're riding well when you're not thinking, okay, I'm going to like weight this foot or dip this elbow to turn my bike. Like you're just thinking corner. Well, you're not even thinking corner. You just see the corner and you've done it.
Mm.
It's incredible. It's like when, like, you don't think about how to walk down the footpath.
No.
If I was to tell you get up and walk down these stairs, you wouldn't
Just do it. Yeah.
plan how to do it. You just do it. And then when you're riding your bike like that, then that's always when I feel like, oh, okay, sweet, I'm like, have done enough bike time. I'm dialed in. When I have that feeling on the bike, you don't even realize you're riding a bike. You just are like, oh, I want to go here, and you just go there.
Mm. Well, how do you feel then about the people at the top of the track that are like really like zoning in with like the flowing?
No one. People don't really do it in enduro. You do it a lot.
Slav and stuff will always like watch all the stages and kind of.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen
They get
people like?
watch it
But
on
they
their
don't do the
phones.
closed eye things. I haven't seen.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you don't need to surf with your hands. to know
Nah,
where you're going.
I
don't know. This is my opinion. That's what you said.
I'd say I do visualization in downhill. I think most people would.
Mm.
You just run through the run.
Can you see the whole track in your head perfectly?
Yeah, that's. I was about
It's
to
like a
say. I was
movie.
about to say I do like the visualization when you're warming up, and it's like eyes open. It's not like doing this.
Yeah.
But you're just.
Is it like a GoPro run?
It's
Pretty much.
Do you
In
find
your
it,
head.
do you find it crazy though? Because if you just say you were watching a GoPro of like Leger now, I could talk through exactly like left-hander, right-hander, small drop, jump, little hump, you got to pump there, go slow. Like I could talk you through watching that.
Yeah.
I could see exactly what's there and like describe everything.
on that.
And I can see it, but then I can't remember simple things that like you should like names and stuff are just like But it's like
What's my UK phone number?
like I could run through Fort William in my head exactly top to bottom.
Yeah.
Every rock route, whatever, and I can see it, but I can't remember Bill or Bob's
Yeah.
name that I met yesterday. Like it's just. But why do you reckon that is? That like that visual part of our brains is so like enhanced and.
Well,
That's probably why you're good at downhill.
yeah. I don't know, but with that podcast that Gypsy did with Sam Hill, Sam Hill was saying that he could visualize it almost to the time,
Yeah, he
the
gets
race time.
Yeah.
Really?
So he's doing the ghost
So
run in his head.
in the right speed.
and if you timed it,
He says done,
Yeah.
and it's just race speed.
yeah.
Well, I think
Which is pretty wild.
because I think your brain would process it as it's coming at you, so you'd kind of get an idea of how long that section of track would be. Because in your head, I don't know,
Yeah.
you'd be able to judge it.
And when you are visualizing it, it's you riding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
yeah.
someone else riding.
Which is why I find it kind of. It would be. I would find it harder to watch someone else's downhill GoPro, but it's fine for me to watch like yours for enduro.
Apart from the frame rate's too slow.
Apart from the frame rate.
What frame rate?
It
It's
was
been
on 24.
24.
And it was just a bit too glitchy for my eyes.
Yeah. Speaking of Sam Hill, who was the guy you looked up to when you started racing, and did you ever pretend to be that person when you were riding?
Sammy
bike?
Carlson.
Yeah.
Who's the old New Zealand downhill guy?
Nathan Rankin.
Nah, not Nathan Rankin. There's another guy.
Shaninos.
No. He's like
No,
real
Shane
old. He was like sponsored by some Max's team.
Oh,
John Kirkcaldy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Kirkcaldy was someone that we looked up to. We went and stayed with him when my brother and I were probably 8 and 10.
Really?
Yeah, he took us down to the pump track or motor track or something. I can't remember.
Because when the Norbers were big, he won the Norber series.
He was the man.
He was the man.
Mm.
Yeah, he used to come to races, and I'd just be like, "He's here!"
There's the people like to you guys now.
Yeah.
Though, like,
Oh my god! I was like, and I remember buying a Troy Lee Peak off him. And it had his like sponsor stickers on it, and I put it on my it wasn't a Troy Lee helmet. I like got Dad to drill it out and had it on my helmet, and I was just like,
Zip tied it on there.
that was so
that
sick.
is sick. But that's so interesting. Like once you get to know everyone and like you're in the scene, like we are, it becomes normal.
Mm.
You know, I don't think like Eddie's this hero. Like we're just all mates.
Mm.
But then you got to remember that for people who aren't in the scene or kids, like we are idols, and it's kind of cool because
Well,
That's
I idolized a lot of them.
yeah,
It's like the vlogging thing. Like, I can't really watch people's like vlogs because I see them all the time and like I know them and like you know that life. But to someone from the outside that never sees any of that,
like Moya or something.
yeah, like it's just like I know, especially when I'm hanging out with him all the time. Like I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like we hang out so much, but then to the people that are like other side of the world, I can see why they'd want to, and they can idolize people in a different way now because they know them better.
True.
Like you didn't know your idols properly. That was like more mysterious. Like you'd seen them in a magazine or maybe like in a movie, but you wouldn't see them every day of their life at a race.
Yeah, I wonder how it changes it though. Like, is it good to have them more mysterious or worse?
I think it's like gets.
What do they say? Never meet your heroes?
Yeah.
You meet them every day. I think it's better because I think it kind of you can't hide every day on a vlog.
Yeah.
Like you either like the person or you don't, and that's could be a good or a bad thing. But you kind of it cuts out the shit. Where if you see a photo of someone on a magazine or a movie part, you don't really know them. You like appreciate their writing, but you might not actually. They might not be your person or like a good person.
Yeah, and I think like Bernard was saying that everyone thinks they know him
Yeah.
because they've watched so much of his life. They think they're friends, so they like come up to you and will start talking to you about all the stuff that you've been up to, but you don't know anything about them. So it's like quite one-sided.
It's like a one-way kind of glass kind of thing.
Yeah, it is.
And that I was talking to my mechanic Gary because people came up to him in Leger and knew who he was, and they're like, "Hey Gary," and started chatting with him, and he was like, "Hey," like wasn't used to it. And I was like, "Dude, you're gonna go to America. Like people will know who you are, and they will come up to you and chat to you.
Yeah.
Like America, like they are not scared, and it's cool because they're like
It is cool.
They're super friendly, but they're like Europeans are a bit more obviously language barrier. They seem a bit more reserved.
Yeah.
You go to America and they will come and
They're
chat
just
with you,
into
give
it.
you moonshine, give you what like they are super fans.
I would love to have a shotgun with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going
Oh,
there. Yeah.
This makes you want to come.
Dude,
Oh yeah,
walk-
Moya's coming.
Race. Well, you gotta walk the track in practice, but on race
Yeah,
day.
me and Kurt did it last 2019 when I was there.
On race day.
Oh yeah, we walked down starting at the first man.
It is experience.
Yeah.
It is an experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
That would be
wicked.
good.
Oh man.
Just get a team bibs. Well, actually not a team bib, but you
Cut that.
can go near the B zone. And so you're not. Yeah, so you can still get down because
Decoy.
it does get pretty hectic.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good time.
Oh.
So if anyone watching this is going to Snowshoe, give us a shout if you see us.
Yeah. On the side of the track.
Yeah.
I've never.
And I would love to share a shotgun with you.
Yeah. you're gonna make it to the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was cool, man. I put up like that retirement video, and so many comments were from people from America saying, "I met Dean on the side of the track in Snowshoe in 2021 or whatever. We had good yarns and stuff." And there was like heaps of those comments because you meet so many different people on the way down.
Yeah.
And everyone's so
That's
nice
sick.
Everyone in the
Really-
States is so friendly, eh?
So
Everyone's up for a
friendly,
yarn.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
and very time aware. Like they'll come and chat to you and be like, "All right, thank you," and then go to the next person or go to wherever.
Enough's enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't just drag on, yeah.
Yeah, because you know sometimes someone will chat to you and it'll get to that point where you're like, okay, and they're also in your pits or at your pits, so you're
Yeah.
like, well, I'm not leaving, but this has gotten to a point that it's not good anymore. It's just reading the room, really, isn't it?
No, it is. Yeah,
So-
the States will be sick.
No, it'll be good. Are you're not going to? This is it. You're going home after?
Yeah,
this?
home,
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Which is good. I've been out here since May. Last year we went home for a bit, but this year I just stayed out the whole time.
True.
Yeah, Harriet came out, so there's no point going home if she was here.
Mm.
And then after she left, I didn't really want to go home to winter, and you can't really train properly.
Mm.
So I just parked up in Chamonix for a month and did those 5-minute efforts.
Just experience uphill.
Here we are.
How have you found it, like being obviously from New Zealand and trying to maintain like relationships while being away? Because that's like a strain that Australians, New Zealanders, heaps of people don't deal, like Europeans and Americans, everyone don't seem to deal with because we're away for 4 or 5 months at a time. How's that been to like kind of manage and deal with?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Like you just want to, and it's fun. You like get better at it. You practice it. And now we're at a good point where we can do like 2 months, and it's sweet. Like we do our own schedules. We just keep busy with, she's got work, I've got racing, things like that. But then after like 2-3 months, you kind of really.
It's to a point.
It gets
hey?
hard.
Yeah.
But like to start with, it was like a few weeks, and we'd be missing each other so much. But you just practice.
A month is always like a good amount
Yeah.
of time because it's like the first couple of weeks you're like so busy and you're so invested in what you're doing. Then the last two.
It's a little treat for them.
Yeah, well, it's like you both get
break
this.
from us.
Well, you get this space, which I think is really good, and it does make you appreciate the person
Yeah.
when you do have that disconnect. But then, yeah, like you say, 2-3 months, you're like, okay, this is too much now.
Yeah. Well, I think when I get home, Hat will have a bit of a shock when I just start spreading clothes and things all around the room. She kind of forgets the bad parts, like all my mess. But yeah, no, it is hard. But it's
Do you think
part
it's
of it.
been better staying in Europe?
For racing?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. It's hard to know. Like,
Yeah.
you know, results are results. That
Well, I just like
Not
going
done
home to winter and stuff. Obviously, it gives you a break. You get to ski and stuff, something
Yeah.
you really enjoy. But
yeah, but it's quite distracting as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think.
then it's good. I think it's really beneficial to take some time off if you've got a big enough break to do it.
Yeah.
But you did that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like we had like almost a month off here after the race, and then I did probably 6 weeks of hard training. But just that training block in Chamonix was pretty much the best training block I've ever done. Like 6 weeks,
Boot
no
camp.
distractions, just yeah. And you actually need quite a bit of time. Like I used to think, oh yeah, 2 weeks, I'm sweet. But actually, if you want to really make a difference, you need like more than a month. I think 2 months from the race day is like when you need to ramp it up. For me, everyone's different, but so I think for my riding it was good, and I like enjoyed living in a new place, like just having a base, because usually like we're always traveling each week, but to actually settle down and have an apartment that's you can put your stuff away, hang out your clothes. Well, I know you do that anyway, but yeah,
I started doing that as well. That's a game changer. Like,
Yeah.
I live out of the suitcase, and then I'm like, I'm making my room like
Yeah.
hanging
It's
clothes.
mean. I
if
just
you do it straight away,
I don't have a
wardrobe.
wardrobe this week, and it's
It's
I've
hard.
let things go a little bit.
Yeah,
Living the chalet's hard, man. It's a hard life.
Yeah.
but no, I think it's been good.
I was gonna say, with being away, because you'd normally just go home most winters and kind of try and train back at home and not stay
Yeah.
over here and do the whole European.
Yeah, go
summer.
home for like a month or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just thought I want something different. I want to.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah.
Just to see kind of thing, or were you just there was a reason last season like you just got because I know I'd normally go home and then I started staying over just because of the jet lag and
Yeah.
going into winter and whatnot. But like you say, then you're here and when you get like we would stay in Morzine
Yeah.
and it was almost funny because you'd be in Morzine and like you're training because it's right there.
Yeah.
But I'd almost hate bikes by the end of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'd get so much better at riding because I'd ride every day.
But you're just doing it so much.
So,
that's-
yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to hate it to get better at it in a way. Like you have to do it that much that you like, I don't want to look at a bike, but also I'm riding so much better now.
Yeah. I think like to start with, last year we went home before Canada. So maybe home for like a month or something. I just skied so much and it rained pretty much in town every day. So I could hardly ride. Like I rode my e-bike a few times and then went to the States for the Whistler race and I was just struggling. Like, I just felt way underprepared.
It's weird because you might not actually be underprepared, but as soon as you've got that hint of doubt,
Yeah.
uh,
Everything gets harder.
everything gets way harder, and also
Yeah.
you're like, should have done this, should have done that, should have, would have, could have. You've left all these
Unknowns,
options
yeah.
open that otherwise would have been closed if you'd been like training, riding.
That's what's so nice. So that's the main reason this year I'm like, okay, last year that didn't really work. Like I was battling for a few races after that time at home, just because it was such bad weather at home. I'm like, all right, this year we'll do it differently. And then I still had a month off with Hap, like didn't even touch a bike for like a month or something. But then luckily we had enough time to train. So there's like no regrets now. I'm like, I've prepared as much as I can. The only thing, like maybe starting a few weeks earlier with the training. But even then, like I think we've done pretty much all we could. And you need a break at some point, like you said.
Yeah, to rest.
I was
and
just start
reset.
hating it. And even now, I'm not even over. Like usually at the end of the season, it depends on the season.
Yeah.
Some seasons you're just completely over it. But now I could do another couple of races and be happy. The only thing is just missing home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, like, the things you don't do create those voices in your head. And I think that's what, you know, when you talk about, like, the flow state, that's just cancelling out all those voices.
Yeah.
So it's like every time you do a training session, every time you do a thing you know you should do, that's like shutting a voice off.
Yeah.
And then once you do all those things, you get to the race and your head's just quiet. Because you're like, well, I've done everything. So I have no voices besides just my silence. And then that's when you get in those states. So I know that feeling when it's like, oh, I should go for this ride. And you don't do it.
Yeah.
oh, I should eat that, and then you don't do it, and then there's like all these things start piling up, and then you get to a race and you go like, you should have done that, you should have done this, you should have done that, and then that becomes like this massive, like you just can't ride to your best ability with those noises going on.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I think I've found before, like getting to the flow state, if something happens that's a big curveball, say before the race, like, I don't know, something unexpected happens, or you forget your race plate, or, you know, get a flat tire or whatever, sometimes because that's just that one thing you're focusing on, you naturally shut out those other voices, and then you start getting into the flow state. Like sometimes a little bit of a curveball at the start of the race actually makes you race better.
Or just weather. You know, when the rain starts and you've
Kind of let go in a way.
Yeah, you just it is what it is.
Yeah.
You kind of gift your life to the downhill gods. You have a laugh. If I get down, I'm going to do really well. If I don't, I crash like probably half the field.
Yeah.
Well, that was like an enduro when it was just going to start pissing down. I was like, let's just go. Like let's see what happens. Like at this point,
when we were at the top of the hill and they're like holding the start gate, and it's like bending because the wind, and these guys are holding it so it's still upright, at least for the TV. And me and Dean are just like,
what are we? Yeah,
it's just like, and the whole tent was about to blow away.
Oh, it was, dude,
everyone's like,
I was waiting for them just to be like, the race is off.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If the start line blows away, how do you run
and
the
the
race?
if that warm up tent, which was,
Oh,
you know, probably a 10 by 10 footprint gazebo like marquee.
yeah.
If that went, that would have just some.
That would have
But
damaged.
it wouldn't
that
take
would-
much, eh?
No, it was. It
it
wanted to
was-
go.
It was
Yeah.
windy, man. And that's the whole thing. They're like, oh, we can't run the race because of the wind because they can't get a helicopter up. There was no way a helicopter was going to be flying in that weather.
No.
Yeah.
When you have 5 people holding down like a blow up start line, you're just like, okay, this is kind of a joke. But then you kind of go into it and you're like, well, like
We're up here. Let's go.
I wasn't nervous about the race because of how bad the weather was. It just
Yeah.
seemed like irrelevant.
It's almost out of your hands.
Yeah.
It's just like survival at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think also it's like just letting go is really nice in that way though, of like
Yeah.
not caring as well. Because even like at the first races before I knew that I was going to retire, I was in my own head so much about, do I want to be here? Do I want to keep racing? And I just hated those first 3 races. I was like, I'm not here. I'm not present. I'm not.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I was like, nah, I don't want to do it anymore, I started enjoying racing
It's
again,
easier.
which was weird because I was like, I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter. I don't have to worry about like the next sponsor or impressing people or whatever. But it's like, how do you have that mindset of like letting
the time.
go, but also you want to continue?
When did you start feeling like you were starting to drift away from like 100% focus on racing?
2020.
2020.
Yeah. After COVID.
And has it come back at all, like in waves or?
Pieces, but never to the, like in 2019, like I remember how bad I wanted it.
Yeah.
And I've never got back to that. It was like 2019 had the best year I've ever had, felt like I was the man of building whatever. Then COVID happened, forced retirement, got real down about it, and then started finding all these other things that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then riding just never had the same taste or flavour to it
Yeah.
as it had. And then I was like, came back and I was like, you know when it's like you know how much you've wanted it in the past?
Yeah.
And you still want it, you still want to do it, but it's not to that level. And it's like, that could only mean like a few seconds, but a few seconds at the pointy ends,
Yeah.
heaps. So that was just something. And then I started to question it. And then the start of this year, I was like umming and ahhing. And then like I crashed at Leo Gang, literally because I was in my head in the start of my run thinking about, do I want to keep doing this? Like that's what I'm dropping into a run thinking about that. And I was like,
That's so hard.
This is just dangerous now.
Yeah.
And then when I had a big crash in qualifying, it just rained just before
Yeah.
quali, and I was still like in the mind to like do a good run, and then I just had a huge crash just out of nowhere, just hit a slippery rock,
Oh.
and I just remember being on the side of the hill like curled up in a ball, just in so much pain, and I was just like, why are you still here? Like that's just all I was thinking.
Yeah.
And then I like rolled down to the bottom, and I remember like I was riding. I got to the bottom, and then I started riding from like the finish line to the pits.
Yeah.
And then I just like started bawling my eyes out in my helmet as I like rolled in. And it wasn't like from the pain or from like the crash or not qualifying. It was like I knew in that moment that I was like, this is done.
Yeah.
Like I just knew then. And then since then it was like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. And we're like still want to like continue this year, but it was like that's when I kind of knew. I was like, okay, this is not for me anymore. Like when it was going kind of well, it was like this is still kind of cool. And then as soon as something would kind of not go the right way, I'd just be like, nah, I'm like, it's where normally
Yeah.
to be a good racer or champion or whatever, like that's when you have to show up. And I just didn't feel like I was like, I don't want to show up. I don't like, there's other stuff I'd rather do. So
Well, you have to really like want to risk your life for some of these runs.
yeah,
See, I still really enjoy racing solely because you get to go to a level that you otherwise don't go to.
Like put yourself in the deep end.
Yeah, or like speed,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's like risk, but I'm not prepared to do that during the weekdays.
no.
But I really like. Obviously, it's scary and the nerves and stuff, and there's like, but you don't get to do that in any other situation
No.
unless, and I haven't found another hobby that gives you that. I guess like you could get it in any other form of racing,
Yeah.
but
They can bring out the best in you, which is really cool.
yeah, and just like just going flat out.
Yeah.
Because if I'm riding like during the week, I'm thinking about the risks.
Yeah.
Whereas when you race, you just drop in and put all that doubt and stuff aside.
It's quite a cool feeling.
Yeah.
Do you think as well with the feeling?
And I still like go after that. So I think that's a like sign that you're still really into it.
It's cool because like you
Because as soon as you're not into that feeling, it would be not very fun.
yeah. But you don't think about all the little things. You don't think about your power bill or the rent that you've got to pay or you know
shut off.
your mortgage, whatever. Like it just is right here, right now. Like not survival, but you know what I mean.
Did
Well,
you?
and just like using downhill, for example, like if you do a time training run, you might do 3 minutes. Like to be able to go 15 seconds faster on than that first time run up to your final run is like the speed increase is massive.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and when you do that, you're like, oh, I could have gone a little bit faster.
Yeah, there was a limit to that.
You can always go faster.
Yeah,
than
you
this.
can always go faster.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sometimes if you get a teleport run, like teleport runs, you've done about as good as you can.
Yeah.
But it's even very rare for one rider to get all the sectors the fastest. Like the perfect run.
Perfect run's often different.
Yeah. Like
That's
the
a good
perfect
point.
run, there's always like one that they like, yeah, they're a bit
It's
out.
super interesting to know if any of the men's
Have done a perfect run.
winners
Have ever done a perfect,
have ever done a perfect run. Martin Whiteley would know.
Because I know Loic's...
Because he's like the
He's
guy.
stats.
He's the stat man.
Right.
Do you find it
Interesting
crazy?
to ask him.
Do you find it crazy as well? This has always kind of tripped me out. But you know when you're riding your best and you know that feeling, but that feeling is also not only your best, but in the grand scheme of the entire world, the best. You get what I mean? Like if you're riding your enduro bike as fast as you can and you get into that flow state, that is not only the fastest you can ride a bike, but arguably the best it could ever be done at this current time. Like that's a trip in my head.
Yeah,
Like,
when you put it like that.
Yeah.
Like, you think about how many people in the world ride mountain bikes, and you are in the top 0.000.1%.
There is always a weekend warrior out there who is, you know, when you go,
could do it.
When you turn up to a spot and there's someone that's just rallying.
Yeah.
You're like, this guy is risking his life.
Yeah.
I seen a guy just on the Vincline yesterday, and I was just like pulled up filming some stuff for Scott. And I just pulled up, and this guy came around a corner, and he like must have seen me, and he's like eyes lit up, and he started sprinting. He just hits this corner so hard and shrubs it. I'm just like, oh my god, man! Just like he's just like, I'm in the zone now. I gotta do this. And that's pretty much like, it was funny. I was talking to Jack. He came to Cannonball, and people kept crashing, and he's like, man,
In front of him.
people keep crashing in front of him. Like, yeah, because you're egging them on. Like, they're like, oh, Moy Moy's there, I'm going to give it all. And he just creates
And they just
carnage.
blow up.
Moy Moy gets some footy.
He gets some
when
carnage
he shows
cam.
up, when he shows up,
If I was a Grom and seen Jack Moy down there with an iPhone,
Yeah.
I am throwing down.
Did you see me on Moy Moy TV? He's done so well with his channel. Honestly,
man.
it's sick.
Yeah, the Moy Moy there, the personality he comes across there is so funny. I just can't get over the names he comes up with people.
Oh.
Like on the spot, that's on the fly,
Yeah.
and they stick as well.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he called Froffer, Joshy Froffer.
Did he start that?
Yeah. He used to call me Donnie. That's how Donnie got created.
Yeah. But I mean, Joshy Froth is a pretty obvious one to go for.
He is pretty frothy.
Yeah. I don't know what his surname is, but
Frother, we don't need
yeah,
to
Frother.
Because he went to Jack's house and he like got to touch his downhill bike.
Yeah.
And apparently he was like,
Oh,
yeah.
that's where the original story came from.
yeah. He's like Joshy Frother.
And then Gwen got him on the privateer thing, which is cool.
Oh, it's so cool, hey.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Is you got that ride for how you are as a person, and I think so many people in the sport don't understand like how being your authentic self and having a personality like that can elevate you to like wanting people to be around you or wanting to get support.
Definitely, I think there's no reason
And everyone
to
out
conform.
there is frothing on Frother.
Yeah.
Because the froth comes through the computer or the phone or whatever they're seeing.
spreads, eh?
They're like, shit, that guy is loving it. Like,
It makes you
he's
feel
not
good.
qualifying and he's just loving it.
There's
He's
nothing
like,
more
"You had
refreshing
the
than that."
sickest run ever. And it's like, yeah, you should be stoked. He like
Look where
he
you
put
are,
down
look
his
what you're
best.
doing.
He did put
Yeah.
down his best run, and he's like, yeah, you might not have won the race, but he did a mean one for him, and he's like, this is sick.
But that's so cool. Like, it's a breath of fresh air because everyone gets so serious, they get stuck in their ways and almost debuzz about the whole thing. It's like, look what we're doing.
Yeah, I remember I got down at enduro and I didn't do that well, but I was just, I don't know, I was pumped. I had a good run, it was cool, everything about the whole weekend was cool, and then you come back and people didn't get, like they still did good, but they didn't get what they expected or what they wanted, and then they're so down, and it's like that thing comes back to how do you enjoy not living up to where you think you should live up to, but then also still pushing forward to do better. Because that's the whole like athlete mentality. It's like got to win, got to be better, got to be like this, and then you're kind of only happy when you get that. But that's like such a fleeting, short-lived feeling.
Yeah, but you also have to be realistic. You know, like pretty much no one should be showing up saying I'm going to win every race this year. Like you can try and you can tell yourself you're going to try, but you have to be realistic. And
yeah, when people are like,
it's almost like
you're
a top
not
50,
first.
though.
If you're not first, you're last. You're like, well, actually, you can be third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 17th. Great results.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
But I look at someone
I
like
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I look at someone like Greg, who's kind of got that mentality, and that you could say is the mentality you need to be the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
But
But you can be a champion without being a champion. Right, champion.
Frother, he's
Yes,
a champion. He's a
Yeah,
champ.
Robert is a champion. This is what I mean. He's
Yeah.
a champion of all champions.
But it's so much more important to be yourself and to be that person who's enjoying it, and you know, staying true to what you believe in, rather than the
Otherwise, being
results.
the champion becomes your identity, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, like what am I behind the trophy?
Yeah, if you have all the world titles and you got no friends, you know, no one wants that.
Yeah.
Like, what a waste of time. Yeah,
yeah, you separate yourself.
yeah. I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with being competitive, but you don't want to.
I think you would be
Sacrifice
lying
your
if you
friends.
said, if either of us said we weren't competitive.
Yeah.
I'm like super
You would be
competitive, but I'm not competitive with people. I'm competitive with myself.
Yeah,
Like,
which
I
is
don't
quite
go-
good about our sport because it's on
Yeah.
time trial.
And
But if you were racing cross country head to head with someone, you'd be competitive, wouldn't you?
oh yeah,
I'm like-
when
I'm-
we
I'm
used
like-
to do four cross, I'm like,
Yeah,
if there was three of us in the gate,
yeah.
No friends.
I'm I'm happy to take you guys out.
Yeah.
Like there's no doubt in my mind. I'm going the inside and it doesn't matter.
That's how I feel.
That's how racing goes.
When I-
But I just mean I don't go to the race and be like I want to beat that person.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have like no one's got a tag on their back.
Yeah, and if someone beat me, they've beaten me. They haven't like. You know,
I know what
they
you
were
mean.
better than me on that.
Yeah.
It's like I've only got myself to blame. It's not like, oh, that guy's worse. That guy's a shitter rider than me. And he beat me. He still sucks. I'm like, nah. Like in that moment, he's better than you.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm picking it up.
but I would smoke. I would take you, both of you out. No.
In four
problems.
cross?
Yeah,
No
four
friends
cross.
in four cross.
One time in four cross, I like tried to jump to the inside and landed like on top of Brooke McDonald. It was sick.
How'd that go down?
Do you get a flat
He
tire?
actually stood up like he wanted to fight, but then he realised it was me. I was coming from fourth, trying to go to first. I should have just gone for third. Yeah,
Oh, I missed the four cross era.
that was so
Yeah.
good.
But yeah, it's interesting coming back to what you're saying before about the COVID thing, because that's when I started, was COVID pretty much. Like when I first came over with Eddie, it was 2020, and I didn't, you know.
So you're going to be my
So-
new spirit animal in enduro now?
Maybe, yeah. So I skipped like the whole, because so many people had a transitional period with COVID, like a forced break or whatever it was, like Sam Hill the same. You know, he came with 2019, he's like untouchable. And then he didn't come in 2020, but in 2021, he was struggling to get back to that drive, I guess. I don't know.
I think I think it changed a lot of people's perspective and mindset in like what they want to do. And it definitely showed me that like everything can change like that. And if you're not doing something that you actually really enjoy to the fullest, and then everything, I don't want to get to a point and be like, oh, I regret not trying to do different things that I really want to do. Yeah. Because I don't have the ability now. And I guess COVID showed me that. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm not fully in something, why am I doing it? And it made me like, it just shone a light on that. So then since then, I've always like umming and ahhing until now. I'm like, okay.
Because how many years were you racing before COVID?
Did I start racing?
What was that, 2020?
8 years.
Well, 2012, same year as me that I started.
Was that when you... Yeah, when did you finish high school? Like a few years before.
I dropped out. I tried to go to school and race in 2012 I dropped out. Yeah. Because I couldn't.
So that was like year 13. So you're like 1 year ahead of me.
No,
maybe.
I was still going to school in 2012 and then 2013 was my last year, but I just dropped out of school.
Oh, you're 96?
95.
Oh, 95,
95 yeah. And then started working for my dad doing like a Boilermaker's apprenticeship, like welding. Yeah. So I could make money so that I could travel.
To race, yeah.
Because going to school and I was just like, both were struggling a bit. So I was like, I just got to commit to one thing. Yeah. Yeah. But I know, you probably...
So 8 years.
Yeah. Long time. Like I did 11 total. Long, like 10 years of your life into something is pretty...
Well, this is my third year.
17 really, considering like racing at home as well before.
17?
From when I first started racing like a Victorian series, like local series, to now, 17 years.
That's crazy.
Long time.
Yeah, because this is my third year with Specialised, and I did 1 year with Eddie. Well, it was COVID, it was kind of like a half year.
Yeah. And so you're just like fresh and like...
Yeah, it's like 4 years, but it seems like so long. I can't imagine...
I was talking to Ollie's War about this, and he's like on the come up now, but he's like, it's all fresh kind of for him in a way. Like he's just got his proper team and he's like getting results. And I was talking to him about it and I was like, dude, I just feel a little bit burnt out from it. And he's like, oh, I'm like energized and stuff like that. But it's even just like Andy Cobe and stuff. He's done it for so long, but now they've like made it. And I guess like I didn't like make it straight away, but like I got a podium in 2015, which was like kind of early, I guess, in the career. Where like people have taken like...
Sometimes like 10 years.
Yeah, Ben Michael Lange and stuff, like all those guys have taken so long. Yeah. So I guess they're like on the come up now in a way, where other people have like kind of peaked and then not gone backwards, but just kind of slowly...
Or everyone else keeps going up too.
Yeah, tape it off.
Flatten the curve.
Yeah, flatten the curve. Curve talk.
It's so interesting, like the differences...
COVID talk.
The difference between downhill and enduro as well, because like, I can't even relate to what you're saying about the time training and then getting 15 seconds quicker over the weekend. Because with me, it's like I can do a couple runs and then my third run or fourth run is like my max speed.
Yeah, everything,
But it's just... And the same
well,
thing...
It'd be like if they timed our first practice run and you did fullies. Yeah. It would be insane how much quicker you go in the race. Yeah. Because even when I look at a GoPro where I can, like, you probably got a few full stages
from yesterday.
And even on a short stage, to go like 30 seconds faster.
Yeah.
When you do that first run, it still feels fast.
Yeah, I know.
But
you're just hitting less stuff because you're going quicker.
Yeah. But
so it seems the same speed, but you're just going quicker.
But if I told you how much faster in terms of time you would go, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah. Because you're like, wow, that was actually still pretty quick.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. But it's just, it makes it so much more impressive when you see someone like, I don't know, Bruni, for example, who just is getting faster and faster every run, and there's no taper.
No.
They just hope that they've timed their curve with the final, So
where it goes.
Yeah.
Steep.
Exactly. The steepest part is the final run. Yeah. But, it's impressive. Yeah. But then, actually, I've seen it in testing, though, a little bit. Because if TP go up to the forest and do the same track and test different bikes or shocks, pretty much every run for the day gets faster. And you might, like, the first run will feel almost out of control quick. And then by the end of the day, on your 10th run or something, you might be, 15 seconds quicker over 3 minutes. And it feels exactly the same. Yeah. It's crazy.
Cool.
The thing is, the light's slowly fading away. I want to ask a few more things before we part ways. But seeing as the season's about to end, do we have any team rumours chat that we can throw into the pot that you know of that's not too...
Well, not to be morbid.
Yeah, there's some bleak news.
Well, yeah, the people going. It's like, who's shutting ship?
Ibis is shutting ship. GT is shutting ship. GT is shutting ship on both sides. There's a few, like...
it's not really team rumours, it's team funerals.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
It's a bit
there's
of a
teams
dip
pulling out on downhill and enduro.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
I was talking to like a few different brands and teams and companies and stuff, and they just said, yeah, it's just a hard point at the moment. They got so much stock from when COVID happened, and it's just all kind of backlogged now.
And no one's buying.
No one's buying,
Yeah,
I don't think the teams pulling out is necessarily showing that the sport is like unhealthy.
It's just the industry might be not selling bikes.
Yeah, but this is obviously based on nothing, but just like... But
your insights are always good. So
I think mountain biking is in a super healthy place.
Yeah, I think mountain bike is on the up for sure.
Yeah, and e-bikes have helped that. Like the amount of parents out on e-bikes.
Yeah, and
insane.
Yes, there's teams pulling out and stuff, but I just hope like the riders who are left without a team can like weather the storm.
Yeah,
because optimism will shine through from my side, and hopefully people will come back.
Yeah, I mean, if you're quick, you're quick.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I just mean like the teams.
Yeah,
there's a lot of companies.
Oh, you mean the teams will come back into it? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting. Like in COVID, was there anyone pulling out?
No, it's just
because like the money was massive. Like
but not at the start of COVID. Everyone was thinking there was going to be a big crash.
Yeah, but I think they were just like the time between when they thought there was going to be a crash and then all the money coming
was too short.
It was too short for anyone to actually, because I got told that like pay was getting cut, and
then heaps of that happened.
And then a few months later, like actually the company's making more money than it ever has in its life. So it's like we're not gonna, like, how can we cut your pay even though you're not technically working, but it's like bike sales are through the roof.
Yeah,
I think like from the enduro side of things, like without moaning and stuff, things aren't as good as they have been, but the blueprint is there to get it back to what it was.
Yeah,
and someone will spearhead that, and it will come back. And with enduro racing being probably the highest form of like bike racing in terms of participation, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely around the world, it's so popular.
Yeah, it's super popular at the bread and butter level, but like elite racing is just like it's not quite hitting its marks right now. So I just, wishful thinking. Hopefully that'll come back. Downhill's always going to be the F1. The brands are always going to want the brand recognition and perception of being the best, the fastest. That there's always going to be value there.
And I think that's what sells bikes as well.
Yeah, you win on Sunday, sell on Monday. That's what they say.
But you're not selling the downhill bike on Monday. You're selling the e-bike
or the brand.
Or you're selling the trail bike.
It's just the brand name and image. Who have you got for, who are your picks this weekend for taking the race and the overall?
Richie's going to take the overall.
Yeah.
Because he's a bit of a stone cold killer when it comes to like doing what needs to be done.
Under pressure, he's very good.
He's been in that position a lot. He's actually really fast when the stages are short.
Yeah.
He's just as fast when they're long.
He's just dangerous.
Yeah.
And
but like everyone forgets that he was like junior world champ. He's probably going to kill it at Monsoon and
I can't wait to see that.
Is he racing those two?
Yeah.
Cool.
He
just needs someone else in that top 30, eh?
Yeah, he comes from like a downhill pedigree, so
dude, snowshoe is so flat as well. Like the top and the bottom. Like if you
imagine if he takes it out,
you're strong and like you can put some power down. Home soil, man. Put the enduro sleeve on. Sorry, I interrupted.
So Richie's gonna take it.
I think he could take the race too, because I think the French advantage last week in Loudonville is probably not as strong here. Because quite a few of the stages are new. I think it's probably more open. Like, could be Jesse, could be Jack, could be Richie.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I'd just like to see Moya get redemption from Loudonville.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
so
that was rough.
Go Jack.
So top three. What are we going with? Top three for just the race.
The race. Jack, number 1. Maybe Alex, because he wants the, he's going to try and put himself at the best position in case something goes wrong, so he's going to have to go ham. And we'll put Chaz in 3rd because you've had like fifth heaps of them. But it'd be nice to close out the season on a 3rd.
Thanks.
Be nicer to close out on 1, but we're just going to put him to 3rd.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Jazz,
That's nice.
Your turn, and you can put yourself in your
Contract
own.
year
No,
2.
you can't put yourself,
Contract
yeah.
year 2, just like,
Yeah, good little,
I'm still here.
little promo. I think. Oof.
Oh,
Yeah,
Chaz will beat Wax by like 0.05, but Wax will get 4th.
Wax and I have been so close before.
Yeah.
But it's good. When you're on the upside of it, you just got to take it because you know that it's going to swing in roundabouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to look past Moya. Like, he's fired up, he's riding well.
He pissed off, man.
Yeah. And he, Super Morzine is his baby.
Yeah, it's
so.
Daddy's home.
I'm also going to put Moya in first, and then, like Rideau. Yeah, I'm going to say Richie second, Rideau in 3rd. Rideau is just like, I was riding behind him in this e-bike race, and we were riding blind and ripping for a couple of minutes, and the lines he was doing, I wouldn't even dream about. It was
Really?
terrifying, yeah.
Sick.
Like, he would see stuff, like, be up in the grass and, like, insiding these things, and there could just be boulders and stuff there. And it's like he was just processing things faster than everyone. I couldn't believe it. And then I went in front, and I was like, oh, he's going so fast, I can't back off now. So I was just risking my life for, like, a minute. Luckily, the trail ended, so.
Live to tell another story.
Live to tell the tale. But yeah, Rideau in 3rd. And then in the girls, yeah, I'd love to see Morgan taking it because it's loamy, steep on these stages around here, these first 3, and the flat pedals for the win. And then obviously Izza, you can't really count out. And maybe like, I don't know, Ella Connolly, she was good last week, probably good this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dinos, do you have thoughts?
I'll do the women.
Oh yeah.
Morgan. She's going to take the win in commanding fashion.
Domination.
But be so humble about it.
Yeah, she's undercover, humble.
Not even undercover.
No, just...
And then, Issa. And then I think maybe Gloria Scarzy, because she just got a downhill podium but revved up.
She's going from strength to strength.
Yeah.
I think
There
Jack, wild card, Dylan DeCoco.
Yeah. Dominique.
And then we'll go Wax just so Charlie's in 4th after him.
But by a slim
By
margin.
a slim margin. And
Yeah,
Charlie
0.005.
And Charlie 4th.
If you're next to Wax, it's always a good day. The sick thing this year is I've been able to ride with Wax.
True.
The shit thing's not Eddie and Cole I haven't been able to ride with.
We had one
So-
day.
Yeah.
I rode with you
yeah.
in Petra.
That was mint. But like,
And Wax.
that was always my dream when I started. Like, meeting these guys in New Zealand, I was like, oh, it's so cool. Like, and then I was always in not the top 30, and they were in the top 30. And it was like a dream to be able to ride around for the day and just hang out with like your mates and your idols. And then when it starts happening, you're like, whoa.
Mine was the opposite. I was...
You want to go down?
I wanted to go back down.
Yeah.
Because then when I got put in the top 30, it was like, everyone was so serious and boring.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any friends there. But before that, I would be with...
You're
all
too
the
good.
I'd be there with the downhillers like Rat Boy and stuff.
Yeah.
And we'd all get
Everyone's
clumped
just taking
together
the
and
piss.
it was so fun. Then I get put in the top 30.
Craig
I was
Evans.
like, this sucks.
Yeah,
But
I
that-
you had a good group around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now we do.
Yeah, we've
Have a
got a
good
really
crew.
good group.
Yeah.
Mm.
In
It
the top,
makes it, doesn't
in the
it?
top 30 last week, people were like talking about like, going to the mountains and taking acid and shit. And I was just like, this. And Max just looked at me and she said, "Man, the top 30's changed a lot."
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's so good.
I think it's cool. We're lucky.
Oh, that's a pretty good note to
I think it's a good
round
one
off on.
to top it off.
We didn't discuss anything we were going to actually discuss, but it's been great.
I'm happy. That was awesome.
No plans.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always. Oh, I got one more question because I asked a guest a question that the last guest asked before. So Ben
Yeah.
Cathro asked me, "What makes you happy?"
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Oh, Right now, I've just been watching ski movies, so I'm just gonna have to say skiing.
Ski?
All I want to do is just go ski powder somewhere. Yeah.
Like that.
Because with bike racing, skiing was my main passion for so long,
Mm.
and then with bike racing, I haven't really done it properly for like 4 years. So I'm like, the itch needs to be scratched.
We're going to do some scratching. Well, you can't really do it when you get home, can you?
There'll be some.
There'll
Well,
be
Oh,
some.
you're going skiing straight away.
I am. I'm going skiing straight
There's
away.
not much snow though.
We're coaching like some groms for 6 days. We've got 3 2-day freeride camps. We just get
Skiing
like
or mountain biking?
skiing.
Okay.
we just get 30 groms to come up. And there's like 5 of us, my brother, a few other like pro skiers,
Yeah.
and we just hang out with the groms and teach them about freeride.
Sick.
And like we all stay on the mountain, so you get to hang out with the groms and do like a little workshop.
Perfect start to the off season.
Yeah.
Sick. Well,
So-
cheers, Mars. Thank you for that. Lido, as always, been a pleasure.
Cheers, mate.
Any final
Thanks,
words?
Dinos.
It's alright. We got it done. No preparation, as always.
We're clapping. To
No
round
final
out.
words from me.